everybody!
Hola.
So we wanted to come on today. We just filmed another video, if you haven't checked that out, that was kind of talking about our IVF egg retrieval process. And then this video, we wanted to talk about our numbers. Like, let's talk numbers. We have information on our day 1 update, our day 3 update, and our day 5, which was today. So day 1, they call this the day after the egg retrieval, and it was great news. So let's see.
What was the word they used?
Superb. So we had 31 eggs that were retrieved during the egg retrieval out of 47 follicles. And then the next day they were going to let us know how many were mature and how many fertilized. So
31 eggs, that was already 2.5 times more than their average.
Yeah,
What they get.
because they normally retrieve 12 eggs at our clinic. So already it was like way up there.
Killing it.
So how many mature did we have?
29 mature.
And then how many did we have fertilized?
24.
So yeah, and the embryologist, well, the doctor, he called and I was like, you know, how are those odds? What's that looking like? And he said, superb. Superb odds is what he said. I got my little notes right here. So we were really like so happy about that. We're like, oh, such a relief that A, there were a whole bunch of eggs, but B, that they were mature and like usable. So that was amazing news.
So we're very excited on Thursday.
Very, because
Very happy.
we just kept saying like, I really want to do this egg retrieval just once. Like our goal, I'm sure anybody's goal, is to do one egg retrieval if you have to go through this in your lifetime and end up with as many embryos as you would ever want or need to use. To put your body through all of the injections and the hormones and the process of doing that to your body is just, it's a lot. It's a lot physically, it's a lot emotionally, it's a lot financially. So yeah, so that was really great news. So we went into the next couple of days like happy and confident and content, like finally, things are finally going our way. Like we've had just a terrible go of it for basically the last 2.5 years and 2 losses, and like just things just have not worked out for us like at all. So that was just amazing feeling. So on Saturday we got the call for our day 3 update. So day 3 embryos should be comprised of 8 cells, ideal in an ideal world. And they should also be like dividing equally. So if you have a cell and it divides and makes 2, you want them to go like this, right? So our update was that we had how many 8 cell?
1.
1 in 24. And he also said that it was a low quality embryo. So that was like completely just destroyed me. Like he was destroyed, I was destroyed, like what the hell is happening? And then
Pretty much ruined our weekend.
oh my god, just sobbing. Like just automatically going like, what are we gonna do next? Like let's just talk about options for what's gonna happen next. In terms of the rest of the embryos, there were 5 7-cell embryos, but the doctor said that they were dividing unequally. So he said basically, so instead of dividing like this and creating additional cells within the embryos, they were dividing like this, like much smaller and much like unevenly, which is not a good sign. So that was like really disappointing. And then we had 12 that were lagging behind just altogether. They were lower than 7 cells. And he was like, that's not great either. And then he said 6 were probably not gonna make it, just straight off the bat. Like they had either like arrested in terms of like developing, like maybe they had split once and then that was it, or maybe they were fertilized and then that was it. But he's like, 6 of them are probably just not gonna make it. So yeah, it was like really devastating, like super upsetting, because that is terrible freaking odds.
Just to watch your numbers go from that high and have that high hopes, it just felt like you fell off a cliff.
Yeah. Well, and these are like potentially our future children. So you have this, like when you're wanting to start a family with your significant other and you have that hope of like having a baby and having a family, like, it's really upsetting to, like, experience a loss. And, like, we've experienced that twice. And to have such a high number of potential embryos and, like, they all fertilize, it's all looking great, they're all mature. And just knowing that it's, like, all failing all over again, it's just, like, it's like going through that loss, like, all over again, but times, 24 embryos, like, 2 years worth of embryos, really. If you're ovulating once a month, that's 24 months worth of embryos. Like, that's 24 months of failure, just, like, boom, all in one day. So, like, it was just super upsetting. Like, we're just crying, sobbing, like, what are we gonna do?
For me, it was just more of the concern of, if this didn't work, then what is there?
Yeah. Like, are we just a bad mix together? Like, why are they not dividing properly?
Yeah.
Why are they not developing properly? Why are they lagging behind? Like, do we just both have something really terrible genetically that when we come together that it's expressed in, like, every embryo and we just can't? So,
spent some time last night on the internet.
Yes. It's always a great place.
Trying to search why.
Yeah.
What would cause them to stop?
So, yeah, that was really upsetting. And, doing another egg retrieval if you know you have 100% failure is, like, that would be really stupid. And we decided he had work all day today. Don't mind his yawning.
Sorry.
I've had a nap. What we did decide was, like, okay, it won't be a complete loss even if we end up with 0 embryos because we're going to get information. That's not our first priority. Like, our first priority was getting embryos. But our second choice is that we can look at it and walk away going, like, at least we have information knowing what the hell is wrong here.
Yep.
So if we can get genetic information about what's happening here, then we can really know, like, what do we do moving forward? It's not that I couldn't make couldn't make eggs. It's not that the eggs couldn't be fertilized. It's that once they are, they don't know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah.
Basically. And it may not be their fault. So, yeah. Just, like, total wind taken out of our sails. Like,
So that was day 3.
That was day 3. So today, Sunday, was a horrible day as well. Like, we were fine. We went and ate cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
And then this morning it was just, like, anxiously awaiting. I was 50-50. He was going to call me and just say, all of them have stopped developing. I was just waiting for that call, and he was at work, and I was going to call him afterwards. But he said we have 5 early blastocysts. This is the 5-day report. None of them are at the blastocyst stage yet. Which in an ideal world they would be at day 5.
But it's okay.
It's okay. They let them develop to day 6 or 7 sometimes, which is going to be the case for us.
Yep.
And, maybe in utero, like, my body has tried to do this, it just doesn't have enough time for the embryos to develop, or they just need that little extra time, and they're just slackers. So, we have 5 early blastocysts. So they're just a speck under being blastocysts that can go to freeze, that can be biopsied. So, amazing news. It doesn't mean that those 5 will come back genetically normal, but it means that we have a chance.
Yep.
And 5 is better than 0, which is what we thought we might have. And then of those 5, he said the grading becomes more clear when they're officially blastocysts and they're of the size that they can be biopsied for PGS testing. But we had 3 grade 2, which is good, and then 2 grade 3, which is fair. And our clinic only does, like, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 1 is ideal, 2 is good, no, 1 is best, 2 is good, 3 is fair, and 4 is poor. So we didn't have any that were considered poor, which is good. But again, the grading will become more clear in, like, a day or 2. Then we have 9.
9, which were 1 below blastocyst.
Yeah, so they're 1 below the early blastocyst stage. So really they're, like, 2 stages away from being a blastocyst. And he kept calling them moilas. Honestly, I tried to look up that phrase earlier and I could not find anything. So I don't know if I'm just mispronouncing it or what.
Spelling it, or...
I tried all kinds of spelling. I even said, like, one stage below early blastocyst, and you know the internet's usually pretty good about those things, but I could not find it.
So those still have a chance. Those could also still all make it.
Yeah, they're kind of a wild card. They could develop, they could not develop.
I guess, to me at this point, they're all wild cards.
It is true because
after Saturday morning's update, the day 3 update,
yeah,
they're all wild cards to me.
realistically, yes, we can still end up with nothing based on the information that we have, like 100%. But at least we have hope now. And on Saturday, I felt pretty dang hopeless.
Yeah.
So we have 9 in the just really unknown category, but they're still developing, so that's good. They haven't stopped. They haven't arrested development. They're not dying. They're still doing something.
Yep.
They're just not there yet. They're slackers. And then we have 10 that have just like stopped development. They're not biopsyable. They're not transferable. They're not going to become anything. They're just kaput. So
Kaput.
they're kaput. So that's 10 right there. So that's our 24. 10, 9, 5 is 24. So pretty much they're going to call us back tomorrow in the morning. He usually calls before 10, which is helpful for me because then I'm not spending all day just dying waiting. And then also on day 7, because he thinks some of these are going to need till day 7 to give them a chance, basically. Probably these 9 wild cards. I think the 5 early blastocysts will probably just need till tomorrow until it's determined, like.
Agreed. That's what he made it sound like on the phone.
And I recorded the conversation so he could listen to it. So that's kind of what we got going on right now. So how do you feel about all that?
I feel much better today than I did on Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday was a really bad day. To go through all of that and then have such a high number of eggs and then just know that it may have been all for nothing is just like...
Yeah. Today brings back hope.
Yes. I mean, because we went to our first appointment with the IVF clinic in June, and we arranged some things in our life so that we then had to wait for the opportunity to have a really good thing happen and financially for IVF. So we waited for December for that to be able to happen, and it was a good financial choice for us. I'll go into more of that later, but it was a good financial choice for us and probably lots of other people if you're considering doing IVF. But it just, pushed that timeline, and now we're in January.
Yep.
So that's 7 months after we started even just pursuing this. So it's just like, it just drags on and on forever, and just the thought that we'd have nothing and we're back at square one is just like super disheartening, so.
But new day brings new hope.
Yep. And hopefully days 6 and 7 are super duper promising. Yep. And then we're just going to have to wait for the genetic screening to come back in 2 weeks.
Is it 2 weeks?
Yeah, it takes...
I thought it was 10 days.
10 business days. 7 to 10 business days, I should be exact. So there could be 10 to 14 real-time days. So, anyway, we could get it back sooner, but we'll see if we're going to start preparing for my body to do a transfer, hopefully in February, while we're waiting for those results to come back. So,
yeah.
Fingers crossed. Cross your fingers. Dang it. We need all the finger crosses we can get. So, all right, keep your guys' fingers crossed for us. You'll probably see this before we even get the genetic testing results back. So, keep those fingers crossed. So. Are you like a lobster now?
Yeah.
Alright guys, we're gonna head off. He's got some homework to do for his master's classes. So.
Yep. Good night.
Bye.